For today's cup of coffee, and actually the next couple of cups, this one today and barring unforeseen, the one tomorrow. Like I said, these things run in cycles. I don't know why. Maybe it's me that I run in patterns, which very well could be. But these things, I really do go where I'm led on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this stuff is about mind control.
Mind control.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah. And since I have found X-Files that's like, oh, I remember that rabbit hole. Oh, there's another rabbit hole. Oh, shit, all this stuff was self-disclosure and telegraphing. And it really was.
What the fuck is telegraphing?
That's a matter, it goes in with self-disclosure to let people know what is going on, what is getting ready to happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I had wondered that years ago when X-Files was, you know, on TV for real, not just reruns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how did Chris Carter get by with all this stuff?
Now, were you thinking that when it was like brand new?
Oh,
or
yeah.
was it the remake that you were like, what?
Oh, no, this did not, the X-Files did not spark my fascination with these things or my research. I had been doing this for years prior to that. Some of us just, that was how it rolled.
Weird.
Yes. Yes. And then it was just
I'm
one of those.
just trying to live my life.
Now, I have never trusted as far as government authorities, anything like that. Because being born in 65 while Vietnam was going on, yeah, even as a kid I could see it. I didn't understand why other people could not see it. It being that this was bullshit. That they were always sending other people's kids off as cannon fodder.
Oh, yeah? They still do.
Sure they do. And it's like you had the ruling elites that play games with other people's lives.
Yeah?
So, that was one of the things. But this goes in with all this. And it's the same scheme. They just have different toys these days. Mm. And you have to read between the lines on this stuff. It's like not just the story, but the potential of some of this technology. And we still have allergies. Sorry. It's perpetual allergies.
Literally, like the people across the street, they have a field of goldenrod.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a field, but
it's lots. It's just...
it's too much.
Any of it is too much. That aside, from the Daily Mail,
did you smell that? Do you smell that smell?
No. This is by Fiona Jackson, and this was written
Smell of goldenrod up your nose?
August 15th, 2022. And the article is entitled, Lawyers Could Have Electronic Chips Implanted in Their Brains to enable them to scan through documents in a fraction of the time, report suggests. And the link will be in the description box. And of course, the obvious, as far as lawyers, brains, chips, everybody has their own, sequence of jokes that just evokes.
Brain chips?
Yes.
Thinly sliced?
Possibly. Kettle cooked.
Yeah.
And...
lightly seasoned.
Yeah, really. It says electronic brain implants could allow lawyers to quickly scan years of background material and cut costs in the future, a new report claims. The report from the Law Society sets out the way the profession could change for employees and clients as a result of advances in neurotechnology. It suggests that a lawyer with the chip implanted in his or her brain could potentially scan documentation in a fraction of the time, reducing the need for large teams of legal researchers. And Dr. Alan McKay, the author of the report, states...
whose horse is that?
What?
Alan McKay, whose horse is that?
Lord, him. It says some lawyers might try to gain an advantage over competitors and try to stay ahead of increasingly capable AI systems by using nanotechnology to improve their workplace performance, end quote. Nanotechnology could also allow firms to charge clients for legal services based on billable units of attention rather than billable hours, as they would be able to monitor the employee's concentration. So that means if you're working on a case and you're sitting there watching TikTok for 5 hours and trying to bill somebody for it, that this would monitor.
Yeah. I already struggle with concentration.
Yeah. It says, however, the report raises concerns that the data collected could put people at risk of surveillance or manipulation. No shit.
Really?
And suggests the regulation of neuro rights should be considered. Now, this is where...
Neuro rights? That should not even be put in...
Well, this is, this is our world today.
That should not even be questioned.
Dr. McKay wrote, quote, "It is hard to know how widespread the uptake of neurotechnology might ultimately be, but to neglect it might be regretted, particularly if, as has been speculated, brain implants or wearable devices might become the iPhone of the future," end quote. That's horrifying.
I mean, like that Google Glass type thing?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it was like a...
Oh, the glasses.
Yeah. It was almost like a smartphone, except you wear it like glasses.
Yeah, that's... And Law Society of England and Wales President Stephanie Boyce said, quote, "Neurotechnology could greatly improve the lives of many, but also facilitate ethical failures and even human rights abuses," end quote. Neurotechnologies are brain implants or pieces of wearable tech that interact directly with the brain by monitoring and or influencing neural activity. Now, that influencing thing is, both of them are disturbing, but especially the influencing.
Yeah.
They are already being used in medicine to treat Parkinson's disease and tested by military organizations looking into employing cyborg soldiers. Now, that has been one of the main components for many years, is trying to create the perfect soldier.
Cyborg.
And the chips would reduce or could reduce the number of solicitors needed to work on complex cases and thus reduce the bill for the client. Like they give a shit about the client.
Right.
Now, if it's a high dollar client, they might put in a little more effort.
Just a tiny
bit.
bit.
But for the average person, no.
They don't give a shit.
No, they don't. It says solicitors in London routinely charge over £1,000 an hour for their service. So corporate clients would probably welcome
too much.
a technological way of lowering the cost. Artificial intelligence, AI systems, are already being utilized by some firms, and some have been proven to work faster than top human lawyers at spotting legal issues.
Wow.
There are thousands, and this is one of the things as far as them creating new laws. Get rid of some of the old ones before you implement new ones.
Right. Don't just stack laws on top of laws.
Right. Clear them off the books. Put them there as far as historical, whatever, but do not keep adding to.
Yeah.
This is why nobody can keep up with it. It says, while chips would provide a way for professionals to outperform their human and technological competitors, this could increase the pressure on lawyers to have one installed or lead to discrimination of those who choose not to. And Dr. McKay had said again, perhaps clients might provide pressure to do this, and one can imagine changes to billing that might be brought about by the attention monitoring capabilities of nanotechnologies. And McKay is from the University of Sydney, by the way. He also stated, this might even prompt a move from billable hours to billable attention. And then, for whatever reason, the Daily Mail has a tendency to reiterate. And Dr. McKay believes that the introduction of neurotechnology into society will also create new challenges within criminal law. For example, defendants could claim that their criminal behavior was the result of their device being hacked. And he said, quote, one might ask which bit of conduct constitute the actus reus, or the criminal act, where a person injures another by controlling a drone by thought alone. It seems easier to identify the relevant conduct where the defendant uses their system of musculature to control the drone by manually manipulating a control device such as a joystick. It says
Joystick. Like a video game almost?
Yes. Only they're playing them with the humans or the whatever.
It's like that scene from Invader Zim,
Yeah, that kid that he had that thing on his head and he was just, the little kid became a robot.
Yeah. But I was also thinking about, like, when Zim was in Dib's body.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's very much sort of like that. That's that parasitic thing. The Neurotechnology Law and Legal Profession report also reviews whether it would be acceptable for criminal justice systems to monitor offenders' brains while they are serving their sentences in the community. Due to the advances of Elon Musk's Neuralink and other manufacturers, it concludes that our neuro rights should potentially be considered in the same way as human rights. Well, yeah, because the brain is part of the human.
Yeah.
And Dr. McKay said, quote, we need law reform bodies, policymakers, and academics to be scrutinizing these technological advances rather than waiting for problems to emerge, end quote.
Yeah.
The report suggests that individual lawyers and firms may wish to specialize in the field of neurological rights as well as its inclusion in university curriculums. And part of the article were included ethical issues of brain implants. It says the Law Society report outlines ethical issues legal professionals may soon encounter as brain implants are rolled out in society. Not could be, but are. One is mental privacy. The data that the devices will collect may give technological companies access to the user's mental world, including their predisposition to certain behaviors or mental health issues. Two, power for manipulation. Brain implants that can send signals to the brain put the user's autonomy at risk. And discrimination. A division could arise between brain implant users and those without them, as well as a social pressure to augment. Now that's really scary. That is some scary shit.
Yeah.
And we have seen over the past couple of years how people insist or very much coerce or threaten or pressure other people to take part in something that they may not necessarily want to do. Now this is some, 1984 stuff. Mm-hmm. This is Orwellian, where you had not only as far as, I can't remember what it was, newspeak, but this is wrongthink. I think he did go into that.
Yeah.
Now everybody has thoughts from time to time. A thought does not necessarily mean that you are going to act on it.
Right, exactly. So you cannot go off of those alone.
Right.
Because, thoughts are literally like farts and whirlwinds.
Yeah.
They come and they go.
They do. And so
And people have intrusive thoughts all the time.
Absolutely. And one can wonder, where did those intrusive thoughts come from?
Mm-hmm.
Do they necessarily come from the individual? There are those of us that believe that people are people. It's not necessarily of good people or bad people. They're both. They have good and bad. It's a matter of the choice that they, choose to do.
Right.
So this is, like I said, this is some scary shit.
Yeah, very much so.
And, yeah. And as far as, they always do that. Being whoever the puppet masters are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this will give you this benefit. Well, the devil always deals in half-truths and lies.
Yeah.
And anything that they sit there and go, oh, this is for the betterment of mankind. No. No.
No.
Brain chips. Supposedly, I mean, we're getting closer and closer every day to the Matrix.
We are in the Matrix.
I know, but even as far as the robot overlords and different things like that. I mean, there is, as far as whether we are in a Matrix, which...
We're already there.
We are in a simulation.
Those are so high up above us that we can't even think, because we are literally at the very bottom of the totem pole.
Well, I don't know that we're at the bottom, but this is a different realm. This is going into the realm of spirit, where you have forces of good and you do have forces of evil. And the ones that are of evil, their whole thing is to destroy mankind. Now, that you can either do it quickly, or what they've been doing is using us as food, fuel, all that stuff.
But I meant like all the tech out there. There's tech out there that we don't even know of,
yeah,
because we don't live in these high-end cities.
It has nothing to do
or
with
the high-end parts of the cities.
This is deep state type stuff. I mean, it honestly is. A lot of it is fallen angel technology. Yeah. It goes, you've got people that are contacting other realms. There are people that say that CERN is trying to open a gateway. I don't know.
They already did.
I think it's quite feasible in our world, where everything that we thought we knew has been turned on its head. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty much, any of this stuff that used to be in the realm of conspiracy theory is now conspiracy fact. I mean, when you've got reports on this,
yeah,
and with their sources and stuff, and Daily Mail, they get sensationalistic and they're horrible about paparazzi type stuff with popular figures, if it's musicians, actors, any of this shit. Mm-hmm. But ever so often they will have reports like this. You have to scroll through it and find it, and it's a nugget. And then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's one. And so you try to grab those. But that's that is concerning.
Very much so.
To think that somebody would be monitoring. It wouldn't even be a somebody. It would be an AI.
Yeah.
Okay, we've already seen AI does not understand sarcasm. It doesn't understand humor. None of this stuff.
No.
And, trying to get to that meditative state of no mind or shutting down your thoughts or anything like that, it's not possible for most people.
No.
That's just not how our brains work. I mean, we might be able to do it for a minute or two or whatever, and some of these people that have trained on this for years, they may be able to maintain that, but most no. So, yeah, I will not assimilate. I refuse to assimilate.
No.
Because I do have oppositional defiant disorder. Mm-hmm. So, some spooky stuff. We've had the light and fluffy for the past couple of weeks, but...
No, we haven't.
Yes, we did. We had some of the more amusing... It was disturbing content, but it was not like this.
Disturbing ain't light and fluffy.
Well, I think it is. I mean, when you had dude that was trying to buy, body parts off of Facebook, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
See, it's light and fluffy. Within our realm, within our scope. You're not going to find kitties and puppies and unicorn farts on this channel. It just ain't going to happen. There's plenty of other channels for that.
On this channel.
No, if you want that type of content, go to TikTok.
No, you bitch about that on TikTok.
I don't do TikTok. I do not. That's one of the reasons I don't. I basically read all day. Mm-hmm.
You gotta let your mind play, just like...
I do. I'm letting my mind play. I've been watching X-Files today.
That's not like...
It's David Duchovny. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? It was David Duchovny.
Have you seen how he looks now?
God love him. He's still him. Just because he's gotten older, you know. And the character of Mulder, it wasn't just that he was very handsome when he would, yeah, because it was him. It was who he was, not just what he looked like. So as far as Mulder, everybody changes. That's just, nobody stays young and beautiful forever. I don't care how much silicone there is, how much Botox there is. And it's unrealistic. You know, we need to get back to that, seeing how beauty moves, that as you age, it's supposed to move inward. You're supposed to mature.
Yeah.
You've got people that are in Peter Pan syndrome all their life, or most of their life, which is really sad. Superficial, shallow. So, yeah, no. But that was one thing about Mulder's character, was that he was not superficial and shallow.
Yeah.
And actually, David Duchovny is not either. He went to one of these Ivy League colleges. He's not a stupid man.
Damn,
Yeah.
he's got brains?
Yeah. Yeah, he really does. So, brain implants.
Maybe that's what
Just say
he
no.
got a brain implant.
No, I don't think so. Just say no to the brain implants. Or say yes, whatever. But it's people, if you've got a brain implant,
I'll try it.
You have a responsibility to tell other people that you have a brain implant. That you have been bugged and may be a potential bugging device. I mean, we've all got bugging devices in our homes. Cell phones, these smart TVs, computers, all this stuff. We are, Big Brother's already here. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hell of a way to start the week, isn't
I don't
it?
know. I like my CRT. People are... What?
That's what was that? See, CRT means a totally different thing today. So with yours, you're going to have to explain what you mean by that.
Cathode ray tube.
Yes.
Tube TV.
A tube TV was, you know, yeah, I can see that. I'd rather not have a digital anything. Some of these cars
See,
that they're
that
coming out
shows
with.
that you've been too far into the political side.
No, you have to.
If you think that CRT now means
No.
critical race theory.
There are only
Because us
so.
within the tech realm, CRT doesn't mean anything else other than cathode ray tube.
But you've got to realize that there's only so many letters in the alphabet, and so they're recycling them. PCP back in the 80s meant a totally different thing than it does now.
What the fuck is PCP? Isn't it a plastic?
It used to be called angel dust, which was, I think I had some kind
Isn't
of...
that cocaine? You snort that shit.
No, it's a totally different
Or is that
thing.
ketamine? You snort that shit too.
Those are different drugs. But now PCP means primary care physician. So you've got to sort of roll with as these...
But it's also a drug.
It is. It is. So you've got to kind of put into context and sometimes speak more than just letters on what you're trying to say, to be specific. It's a matter of talking in binary code. I have had
Spell the shit out rather than you abbreviate.
Yes, I have had years of experience trying to communicate in binary code, and it still strains me. It does. We still need a sarcasm font.
People are now realizing that tube TVs are a lot better than...
Yeah, tube TVs are cool.
Even OLED TVs now, people are like, damn, tube TVs are better than the OLEDs. Mm-hmm. They last a lot longer, too.
Well, I had switch gears on my previous thought, which these new cars and all the tech, and how easy would it be to hack one of those to where the automobile no longer works.
Right. Or like it takes you somewhere completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can be used to kill you.
Yeah. Or others.
Yeah.
And then to try to explain that, oh, my car went crazy, and people are going to be going, sure it did. You were behind the wheel.
But that's also a double-edged sword if people do that, because people got phones and they can record.
Who says, if they can control a car, they can certainly control a phone. That shit could be erased from a remote location in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, people have done that with security cameras. They have completely erased the footage without them even being there.
Mm-hmm. I tell you something, it makes you appreciate the Amish greatly. Maybe they've had it right all these years. In a lot of ways.
I don't know. The religious beliefs are kind of...
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as community and work and just, yeah, family. No, their belief system, I don't agree with a lot of them.
Things is kind of...
Well, but I'm saying as far as getting away from the technology type thing.
Now that, I don't...
Ted Kaczynski warned about that. Mm-hmm. He did. So, I never have written him yet.
I mean, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't mind horse and buggy, but damn, that would make travel a hell of a lot harder.
Sure it would. It doesn't
Oregon
have
Trail
to be...
in real life.
Really? Oh, God, everybody died of...
Cholera.
Cholera and dysentery and diphtheria, all that stuff.
Snakes.
The wolves ate their faces off.
Broke something.
Yeah.
Just randomly. How the fuck do you break a bone when you're riding or walking?
Well, I don't
Walking.
I don't know. It could have happened. I mean, times were rough back then. People didn't... If you had somebody that lived to 50, they were old. People don't realize a lot of these people that went across the United States, they were 12, 13 years old. Because a lot of the people that were older, they were like, oh, hell no, that ain't smart. You know, and both of them had a position on that was true. Yeah. And probably most of them were Aries, or they would have never survived.
I don't know about that. There's a bunch of, Like
I said, 12, 13-year-olds. They were more mature in some ways, but you still had that frontal lobe shrinkage.
Kids are resilient.
Some of them. But yeah, this was a hell of a way to start a week. The next one is going to be more intense.
Please no.
Yes. It's just the week for it. So, kids not happy with me. I will try to find something that's not quite as hardcore, but it's just, I roll with the flow. I do.
I tell her, be cognizant. Some of these affect my mental health, and she just
Now, what was it? Are you a lawyer? No. Okay, then right now that doesn't apply to you. Just deal with today.
This one was fine.
Deal with today. Speaking of today, if you have had experiences with the paranormal and supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, brain chips, if you have local, regional, or family myths or legends, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. If you need prayer, same thing, same email. That'll be in the description box as well. Know that you're loved. And it is a matter of prayer, and let's pray one for the other. Yeah.
Yes. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
I ain't gonna drink it. I need soda. Chips.